Next speaker, Udaya Lakshmi, speaking on medical making, nurse inclusion in point-of-care innovation.
Let me take a second and thank you all for waiting till the end. Maker technologies like 3D printing have made it possible for anyone to innovate. Take Dr. Lubani here on the right. This Canadian ER physician 3D prints stethoscopes because it is difficult to import routine medical devices at the Gaza Strip. And now anyone with a Health Canada license can 3D print a stethoscope. Radically non-traditional contexts encourage non-traditional designers to innovate. What about traditional contexts of care then? I like to explore this idea through training and through a method of ecologies of care. And I know that right now there are medical schools that have introduced design thinking in their curriculum for future clinicians. But let me ask you to turn your attention to nurses. Nurses have been innovating since the 1940s in the United States. There are 10 nurses for every 1 physician, according to the US Labor Statistics Bureau as of 2016. Nurses are stealth innovators. Nurses tend to make daily hacks, low-level innovations, IV plugs that need to be 3D printed, or a motion sensor that's stuck on a surgical laser or a surgical dispenser box. Now, these low-level innovations are pretty much carried out by nurses who are women and women of color. These innovations are minimized very often because of who they are, as well as their role in the traditional hierarchy of healthcare. So what would it mean to encourage this kind of innovation? To encourage this kind of low-level daily innovation, in my opinion, would be to address certain inequities in innovation, as well as where technology access exists for innovation. I study this area through a human-centered process. I'm a human-centered designer. Through a 2-phase study. The first phase is to understand the infrastructure that is already available for problem solving within nurse training curriculum. And the second is to introduce a workshop that would pretty much introduce human-centered design principles through a training course and a series of workshops. In an earlier study, I already know that medical makers tend to collaborate with facilitators and engineers. So my first phase includes collecting qualitative data in the form of interviews as well as perspectives that have been generated through public media articles. This would inform the second phase of my study, which includes a course based on the human-centered introductory design for undergraduates here at Georgia Tech, further improved with prototyping skills from biomedical engineering. I plan to introduce these at 4 key nursing schools. And through these workshops, understand pre- and post-survey whether the problem-solving mindset has been encouraged among nurses. Overall, this would inform the maker curriculum within nurse training education itself, but more importantly, in the long term, it would create access to equitable inclusion in frontline healthcare innovation. Nurses put the care in healthcare, and I would like to make sure that they continue to innovate without a very long wait. Thank you.